So Sean Strickland has obviously lost the fight. The follow-up this week has been a very vocal tirade by his coach talking about how he wants champions and everything like that. And I don't know if we're going to be seeing any more title shots in the future for Sean Strickland. He's going to have to really earn it. But I think that's good for him because he is going to have to earn another title shot if he wants one. But by the time he gets around to making a title shot, he is going to have to probably be going up against Khamzat, and I don't like that fight for anybody, really. I think Khamzat is going... I honestly feel like mercy for Dricus Du Plessis if Khamzat's in there with him, because after seeing what Khamzat did to Robert Whittaker, I think he's going to do inhumane stuff to anybody who's in that octagon. So maybe I think it's for the best that Sean Strickland probably goes for like a Jared Cannonier rematch just for nostalgia purposes or something like that. Just something that he could ride out the rest of his career. Because, I'm going to be honest, I don't think Sean Strickland is motivated, and why should he be? I think, honestly, knowing his background and the place that he came from in his life, he's probably satisfied and grateful as ever to be where he's at and to be at the top pinnacle of the sport and to even touch the belt and beat Adesanya. I mean, that legacy is cemented, and if you know where he started, where he finished is already a victory in its own. And there comes a point where you just want to accomplish something in life, and when you do, you stop being hungry, you start being more content, and that mentality can make a huge difference, especially in the sport of MMA. You know, it just is what it is. Like, I'm pretty sure some people who just, do martial arts for fun have to trick their minds in some way to go into the competition, because there might be some guy who's literally fighting for his well-being when they're just there for the fun of it, and that can make a huge thing. But you know what? I think that Sean Strickland, if he's not motivated at all to go for the title or just wants to be a fan favorite and service the fans, there's nothing wrong going on with that too, because Sean Strickland is more fan favored than Dricus Du Plessis at this point. Because Sean Strickland, water in my ear, but Sean Strickland has definitely been on the fans' good side. Seeing him spar with the fan in Sydney was next level heroic. I loved watching that. He's actually, honestly, in a lot of ways, he's an amazing servicer for the fans and a great dude. If you actually probably got to know him, I don't know him personally, but he doesn't seem like a bad person. He just seems like a guy who is super grateful and wants to pass on a message that no matter where you come from, you can make something with your life. And I think that itself is very huge. He, like I said, fan favorite, always will be. And I don't really see a dark downfall for him with the way he was coming out in his controversial era. I mean, he's still controversial now, but we've already cozied up to him as fans in a way. You start to realize that Sean Strickland, he could have gone in a lot of directions saying a lot of the wild stuff that he was saying. A lot of the stuff that seemed like a bit of a cry for help, if we're being honest. But, let's dial it back a little bit, let's dial it forward. Where's he at? He's not anywhere close to where we thought he was going to be. He didn't end up in jail. He didn't end up, really hurting somebody. He just ended up challenging for a title again and falling short. And you know what? He was a class act on the way out. And even after that, I think he's still going to fight more. We're probably still going to see him get some wins. If he takes on Jared Cannonier, who currently seems to be in his deterioration phase, who Jared Cannonier is fighting next weekend. So if Jared Cannonier wins that fight, I think a rematch between him and Sean Strickland would be really good if he has a bounce back, because Jared Cannonier's on the way out too. You could tell he's getting there. I think a rematch for a main event for a fight night card would definitely be on the table for those two. I'd actually love to see that one by the end of the year if they can make that happen, because I think in a lot of ways Sean Strickland really could have beat Jared Cannonier. However, even if not, or he just wants to hang it up right now, like I said, he's so accomplished that I think he's just always going to remember the people who brought him up and who made him. And I think now his life's dipping into that phase where he wants to be in a little bit of service to others who have given him so much so that he can make a positive influence in people's lives. The same way in the dark path that he was on, the fight community put a positive spin on his life. But you know what? That's what I got to say. Sean Strickland, I know you're probably not motivated for any more world titles, but just as a fan of you, I could say thank you very much for putting us first, because everyone's going to lose that belt eventually. So you might as well be in with the fans. Just like Tony Ferguson, one of my other all-time favorite fighters, Tony Ferguson. lot of people, I don't talk about that as much anymore because some of my first videos were about Tony Ferguson and if he should retire already. And I got a lot of flack from the Tony crew. And that shows how loyal the Tony fans were to Tony Ferguson. Even though as a fan myself, I was thinking, I don't know if Tony's going to win anymore. And he honestly didn't. But still, it's like no matter how many times he lost, us fans just love to see him on the card. And Sean Strickland could be in something very similar. Not necessarily be on a massive losing streak after a winning streak, but definitely win or lose, the fans just love to see him enter the arena. But that's what I got to say. Peace out. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.